you doing, kitten? Trying to get into trouble there? What am I doing? I have no idea. Okay. Let's see here. Yes. Boom, boom, and boom. I'll copy that. Let's share this out. Post. Wish there was a faster way to do this, where I wouldn't get in trouble. Hey Lori, how are you? Good morning. Good morning, Elizabeth Ann. Good morning, Angie Raziel. Finn, how are you? Is your middle name really Raziel, or did you just take that from the Archangel? I love it if it is your real middle name. I think that's awesome because that's the name of an Archangel. But I was just wondering, maybe it's just an Archangel you're attuned to and that you love, and you've adopted that name, which I think is cool anyways. Hey Karen, how are you? Good morning. How's work going, Karen? Is everything going well, my dear? Just waking up. I woken up from my dreams last night. I checked my phone because I wasn't sure what time it was because it was so dark because it was raining last night. It was 2:22 a.m. I was like, okay. And my dreams were just bizarro, which I don't normally always remember my dreams. So it was strange that I was woken up from them, let alone. And they weren't necessarily nightmare-y or anything. Hi, Karen Hasuka. How are you? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know if I am. You just added it. I think that's awesome that you added it. Own it, girlfriend. I think that's great. I just wasn't sure. I was like, whoa, either her parents are super cool and they get named her after an archangel, or she's super cool and she's adopted that name. So I've clocked your name since the minute you came in the room a while back and started watching because I saw that little nod to the archangel, so I love it. I love it. So I'm just sharing out to groups really quick. Just give me one moment. I can't remember if I shared this to Empowering Empaths. All right, we're going to send it again. Hopefully I didn't share it twice there. That's obnoxious. But that might have been an accident on my part. So let me pay attention to what I'm doing, and I'll be right with you guys just because I don't want to screw this up and overshare to groups. Upset them. Then I'm going to start talking again because I hate the silence. It's so awkward. No, it's not awkward. It's just, I feel like you guys get bored. Last night we did the How I Can Help You Hour. For those of you that were unable to watch it, tune in. It was a fun night. We had a really good time. We came across a couple of different new hashtag ideas. One was Taropra. So you get a card, you get a card, you get a card. I thought that was hilarious. So I've been tagging Taropra around places. The How I Can Help You Hour will always have the Taropra tag in the keyword search now. And because that's who I'm going to be during the How I Can Help You Hour is Taropra handing out free cards instead of cars, because that's what Oprah was famous for. One of the many things that Oprah was famous for. I still love Oprah. And she had the Angel Network, so I believe she was probably more in tune to the angelic realm than she even realizes. Or maybe she does realize, who knows. But anyways, so Taropra came about last night. Also, Jump Bitch was another one that I really kind of like. Another spiritual sort of analogy or advice that is just very simple in its execution. What was the other one? There was Jump Bitch, and then I can't remember, like, don't go there or don't go in there or something. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch the video. Anyways, I think we had a good time. I think we had a laugh. I'm just going to let some of you know, those of you that are in the private group, if you were watching the private group, I posted a video in there last night, so this is going to make sense to you. But right now, I'm not wearing any pants. Oh, I thought about that last night when I was dealing with the stuff that I put about in the group. And then it dawned on me, Ducky reminded me last night on the phone because I was kidding with her and I was like, in the morning I should get up and tell everybody I'm not wearing any pants just because, somebody flagged my video for nudity and sexual activity. Ew. Like, if I got naked, you guys should flag the video. I would expect you to. I would expect somebody to call 911 and be like, okay, she's off her rocker. We need to get her down off that ledge. Um, Regardless, um, so the joke is this morning I'm not wearing any pants. So there's nudity in this video. Ah! But Ducky did point out, and I have to say this because I kind of did a bit of stern Papa energy this morning, or that last night when I filmed that video, because I was a little bit annoyed that somebody called me out or reported me within my own group and got it taken down within my own group. But Ducky was saying that, I can't remember the name that she calls it, shake something, where, remember there was an issue with our phones reporting stuff because our phones would shake while we had our Facebook pages up, and maybe that happened last night while somebody was watching. Maybe they finished watching and they didn't turn off their Facebook, and maybe they shook their phone and it accidentally reported me by accident. I don't know. So that's a possibility. So that kind of, luckily Ducky kind of opened me up to that idea, and I sort of felt a little bit like, oh, whoops. But because I do remember when that was going on a while back, and she says that still might be happening. So we may not have like a salty person in our midst as much as it would be fun to be like, "Oh, you salty bitch." Hey, I get salty from time to time. But last night I woke up from my dreams at 2:22, and I had an email from Facebook saying, "We're sorry that we took down your video. After review, we realized we were wrong." I was like, "Oh yes, you were, Facebook. Oh yes, you were." So I'm almost done sharing out to groups. If you guys want to share this video, that would be great. I appreciate each and every share. Last night, I have to say this, little bell ring. This is just all housekeeping stuff while I'm sharing out. Little bell ring. Now, last night's video made it to 18K view. I mean, not 18K, sorry, 1.8K views. I was like surprised. I was like, get it. People are maybe watching the How I Can Help You hour. So thank you to everybody who watched, everybody who shared, if anybody did. And just thank you to the angels, to the powers that be that sent it out there and made, connected it to the right people so that they could see it. Thank you to all of that. Like, I love it. I have to be honest with you guys. I mean, not have to be honest, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys and say that, like, I've been talking to the angels a lot lately and inviting them in to, like, work within my life, right? And so, and that's something that I think that sometimes we forget to do, or I forget to do. I don't know about you, but I forget to do it, right? I know that they're there, and I'm always, they're sort of always around me, and I'm kind of aware of that. But sometimes we have to stop, consciously, like, get centered and get into a meditative space. We don't even have to get into a meditative space, but I like to, and kind of commune with them and sort of say, okay, come in, help. I need your help. And it's not, I think of it in this way. With angels, or like when I ask in the angelic presence or the archangels or whoever, my guardian angels, to come in and assist, it's not that I'm weak, it's not that I'm, I can't do it. It's that I want to explore and have fun and enjoy and play with that energy, right? Too. Like, there's an excitement, there's a fun, there's like waking up at 2:22. It's sort of like this, although I don't want to be up at 2:22, it's kind of funny. So I just got up and I, was like, okay, I'm a little bit awake. Wandered around, saw the video was up. I made a bowl of ramen. Don't know why. I just thought something warm on my tummy would be nice. And I sat up and I ate that for a little bit and petted the dog, and talked to the angels, right? Because they wanted me up. So I took that quiet time, and my ear was ringing. It was a little bit weird. I don't know. Can't say I know if I was getting a download. I think it might have been. That was my first impression. Don't know what was being downloaded. Hopefully that will make sense at some point. But somebody was humming in my ear last night. So, I'm just sharing that with you. It's like sometimes I forget personally, me personally, and maybe some of you guys might be in the same boat, that we can invite the angels in. We can invite their presence in, their benevolence in, their creativity in, their joy in, right? Their enthusiasm, their excitement. And that energy coupled with our own can lift our spirits, right? And then we can go in turn and lift the spirits of others. That's sort of how I see this channel. Is I come in, I do this, and hopefully I help lift you guys up a little bit, right? And in doing so, you guys lift me up, right? In watching me and connecting with me. I did put up a little post last night. I found 2 little posts. I know I don't post a lot in the group, um, uh, but I posted a meme that you guys should check out about lowering your standards to meet your reality versus raising your faith to meet your dreams. I thought that that was really apropos. I came across that last night while I was awake, and I came across that little video about empathy from Brene Brown, and I know a little bit about her. I know she's really big right now, and I'm learning a little bit about her. But I saw that in the group Empowering Empaths that I belong to. Somebody had posted it in there, and so I shared it into our group so that you guys could see it because I just thought it was really beautiful. And that connection that she talks about in the video, if you haven't watched it, I suggest finding it and just watching it. It's a very short video. But that connection is sort of like, I find that here with you guys. I think you guys find it amongst each other here too. I think that social media is an interesting place, and this, what we've created here, is sort of a safe space where we can find that connection and be empathetic with each other in a safe space, and I like that. So I shared that last night because those things inspired me, and I wanted to share them with you. So check those things out. Check out the Triple H hour, the HHH, How I Can Help You hour. If you didn't watch it, I get a little goofy. I don't get naked though. So the controversy, sorry, my titties stay in. And this morning, I can't guarantee I have pants on. We're just going to say that, okay? So that's going to set the tone for the day. Stupid. All right, you guys, let's see what's going on. Hey, Charlotte Baggett says she loves angel visits. I do too, and I forget that I have to invite them in. You know, good morning, Barassi. How are you? Good morning, Ducky. Good morning, Kat. Good morning, Karen. I said good morning to you. Karen, you said, what does the ringing mean? I get intense humming in my left ear all the time. Now, Karen, I might screw this up because I am no authority, but I have read something very interesting that the left and right side mean 2 different things. That, and I can't remember which one's which now. I have to look it up again. I saw, I want to say a posting or somebody posted their thoughts on it, and when I thought about it and I used my own discernment and I checked in with like, is that correct? I listened to the response from my body, from my spirit, from whatever, and to me it actually sort of made sense that the sides mean different things, and I believe, shit, I can't remember what they meant now. I want to say it's possible that one side is your own spirit downloading to you, and one side is maybe your spirit guides or angels downloading to you. If I remember correctly. I could be wrong about that though, don't quote me on that. But there is some information out there if you Google it and look into it. I get the ringing, and I can't remember which year it was even at this point. I wasn't paying attention because I don't necessarily know. In the moment when the ringing's happening, I acknowledge it and I know that it's there and I know that it's something trying to reach out to me. I do believe that. I do sense that or feel that. I don't feel any harm or worry about it. I don't freak out about it. It's just sort of what it is. You know, they do have a medical term. I think it's called tinnitus for that ringing, but I don't know that that's what's going on because it's not a constant thing for me. Not that I know that tinnitus is constant. I'm not a doctor, but I do believe that it is sort of the higher realms kind of, you know, it's like that dial-up fax number, and it picks up and goes beep. I think it's that for sure. But there is a theory out there that I actually liked, where the right and the left mean 2 different things. I think one is from the internal you and like your own spirit, and then one is from the outside spirits outside of you. But we're all interconnected, so it really doesn't matter. That's a sloppy, easy version. So that's my take on that. Hey, Karma Grace, good morning. You get the ringing as well. I really believe, and this could be, the ringing is not necessarily, in my mind, the ringing isn't necessarily, doesn't have to be, it can sometimes be our loved ones around us too. I believe that that's true too. And I think that, you know, depending on which side it is, I think that it could be, but then to me, discerning, this is how I feel. I tend to take the easier, softer, sometimes lazy road about things, only because I try and stay grounded in this physical body, in this physical experience. Yes, we can bring spirituality to this physical experience, and I think that we're supposed to, and we're supposed to mold that, find that, and grow that, right? But I also believe that we came into a physical experience to be in a human body, to experience that very thing. So to avoid it, or to put all of this importance or whatever into like some ear ringing that we're probably not ever going to fully 100% know is exactly what it is, right? That's my take on it. Um, I just take it as a great, not as a grain of salt, but I take it as a, okay, hi, I acknowledge that my ear is ringing. I acknowledge that there's maybe my guardian angel, my spirit guide, maybe it's my grandmother, maybe she's around me and she's trying to, you know, tap in and let me know she's there. Um, for the time that it would take for me to figure out what's being downloaded and all of that in that moment, I just trust that, like, whatever the information is or whatever the contact point is, right, whoever it's coming from, I always believe that it's benevolent. I always believe that it's, or else I wouldn't allow it in, right? I always believe that it's sort of okay that it's happening. And I always believe that when and if the time comes that that information comes into my awareness, that will be the right time, right? That I don't have to sweat it and freak out and go, oh my God, why is my ear ringing? What does it mean? Oh my God, I got to get the message. Like, relax, ease. Remember our good old girlfriends, Grace and Ease. Call those girls in. The energies of grace and ease, right? Bring them in around us and just go, okay, my ear's ringing. I'm probably getting a download. I trust that whatever this download is, it will come out of my subconscious and to the surface at the exact time that I need it. I trust that my spirit knows what's going on more so than my mind, and sweating it or worrying about it. Now, I'm not saying that anybody here worries, but I'm just saying I tend not to get too hung up on the whys and the ifs and the whos and the ha's. You'll spin your wheels. To me, I wouldn't say it's a waste of energy, but it can potentially spin you out. And the other thing I'll have to say about this too is, if I get too specific about what I think the ringing is, like, oh, it's the angels contacting me to tell me that we're evolving as a human species, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, do you really know that? Do you really know that? And so I just trust that I do really know that internally I feel that it is a higher vibrational energy trying to make contact and connect to me, making me aware of its presence. Will that maybe change over time? Will I find more understanding of that, or better understanding of that? That's totally possible. But for where I'm at right now, I don't necessarily worry about it. Does that make sense? All right, let me just read a couple of these. Karen says, I have chronic tinnitus in the left ear 24/7 and I'm deaf in that ear. So if the angels are trying to get my attention, it's not going to happen. Karen, here's the thing. The angels know that you're deaf in that ear. So they'll find other ways of getting a hold of you, girl, if they need you. And I don't know if that tinnitus might not necessarily be higher vibration. I'm not a doctor. You know that, girl. But maybe that tinnitus is like, the angels have been trying to contact you. They've been ringing your phone into the ground, girl. And now you're like, oh shit, the line's blown. Not that they would blow your line. Oh, I shouldn't say blow. Somebody might report this video. But you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. I just wonder, because I get the ringing at odd times, and I'm like, okay, who's here? Elizabeth Ann asks, what do you feel like sequences of numbers mean? I see them frequently. 111, 222, 333, 444. All of those things, I gotta say to you guys, they can be researched and Googled. There's a great book by Kyle Gray called Angel Numbers. He does a whole codex of the numbers 1 through 9 and what his angels have told him are the sort of the meanings and the significance behind those numbers. So it gives like meanings, of like the numbers 331 or whatever. It doesn't even have to be the sequential matching numbers, but sequential matching numbers have always been known to be angel numbers or signs from spirit, right? That they're like acknowledging you, and that's the way that sort of spirit has kind of caught our attention, I believe. I think that they're powerful, and each one has its own message. Off the top of my head, do I know the messages to each and every number? No. The one that I can think of right now that I'm seeing a lot of, like last night I woke up at 222. Can I tell you what 222 is? No, I go and I look it up. And then I read it and I go, oh, that maybe fits for that moment. And then I forget it, right? Because that's just sort of knowledge that like in that moment, I saw 222. So, but like one that I see a lot of and that I love to see lately is 1234, 1234. When I look at the clock at 1234, that is supposed to be everything lining up. right? So when I see 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like all my ducks are lining up. Things, and it gives me. It's funny when I see it, I get this sort of breath of relief. Like, okay, all of this stuff that I'm trying to make happen, maybe it's actually coming together, and I just don't know it. And I'll get that 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll relax a little bit. So I utilize that. So I think that those numbers are not only there to sort of awaken us and bring us to this awareness of that there are synchronicities, that we might be more interconnected with the realm of spirit than we realize. They can be fun, they can be uplifting, and they can definitely give us, like, little bolsters to our energy, our day, our pursuits. Like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4 for me right now is a big one. Yesterday, I want to say I saw 111. I think I saw 222 in the afternoon, and then I saw it again at night, and I saw 444 yesterday, I believe. But I'll see them and I'll go. I usually just roll with them. I go, oh hey, thank you, right? And I acknowledge it and I laugh, or it makes me feel better. But I don't necessarily always look at the significance of the meaning of the number, because I'll see them. One day I was driving to the doctor's office and my arrival time was 111 on my Garmin the whole time I was on my way there. So it was just kind of funny because it was an angel number, but I was driving, so I didn't look up what the 111 meant, right? I just kind of took it as like, oh, okay, so my angels are with me here on my way to the hospital, on my way to the doctors. So thank you, and I just get into gratitude. I think gratitude's a really awesome energy. It opens us up to so much more. Anyways, this has been long. I should stop talking. I've been talking too much. Good morning, Julie Melbrook Lucero. You're new to me. That's a new name. Yes, Ducky says angel numbers. Google them. They're out there, guys. You can look up the. I always look up spiritual significance of 222, or you can look up angel number 222, and it will give you a definition. Or you can go to get books like Kyle Gray's book, Angel Numbers, which has everything there. And so I bought it to support Kyle because I love his work. He's one of the, few spiritual workers out there that deals so heavily in angelic realm stuff, and I love it. So I have his book, and I have referred to it, and it's kind of cool that he has numbers all set up like 441 and all of these numbers that aren't necessarily those sequential numbers. So you can sort of play in all of those numbers, right? Melissa Burrell says, shared. I'm not sure if you're sleeping. I hope I'm not putting you to sleep. 35 years of that, Karen. I'm sorry, dear. You're welcome, Elizabeth Ann. You're welcome, you're welcome. Right ear, okay, so Karen looked it up. Right ear ringing is messages from spirit. Left is messages from your life on earth. And that's where I feel like the left is your own spirit maybe trying to, and I'm left-handed, so I feel like left is my own spirit kind of coming in and going like, hey dude, what's up? Or trying to catch my attention. And then right would be my guides. And now that I think about it, last night it was this ear. So, Google is much easier than going to the library, guys, for real. But, I gotta say too, in researching this stuff, when you listen to me or anybody else, use your own discernment, right? Discernment is a really powerful energy too. It's about sort of, not only checking something to see if it's right or wrong when we don't know the answer, but when we discern something, to me, it's more of a body reaction, right? It's a mental, physical, spiritual sort of reaction to information. When we discern whether or not something is correct for us individually. Because each person is having their own sort of individual experience. So something I may say may resonate for some of you and not for others of you. Because you may not be having that experience, or that may not connect to you, and that's okay. Even in the daily readings, in the forecasts, sometimes they're for I try and intend for them to be for everyone. But if it doesn't resonate with you, that's completely and totally okay, right? If information I share, if you feel like that ringing means something else to you, or these angelic numbers mean something else to you, own that and have that. Discern that for yourself. That's really the key, especially when using Google. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of stuff that people just sort of throw out there. I'm going to say this, just because it's printed on a meme does not mean it's the truth. So I look at everything and then I kind of clock it physically. Like, do I feel it empathically? Does this feel accurate to me with where I'm at within my experience, with where I'm at within my like knowledge, and even knowledge that I don't understand at a deeper spiritual level, right? So when I look at stuff like that, it's like it may not resonate. That doesn't necessarily mean it's not correct for that person, right? Like yesterday's video, I sort of talked about, hurt people healing others and whether or not I thought that that was possible. I've heard other people don't feel that that's possible. That might be their truth. But for me, my truth is different, right? I believe that we have the capacity to heal not only ourselves, but others in whatever state we're in. We just have to sort of reach that state of grace, right? Or that belief in ourselves. And I think that's a very key component to that idea. If we sort of limit ourselves and say, oh no, you can't do that, or you can't help yourself until you fix yourself, you can't help others until you fix yourself, you sort of put walls up, you limit yourself. That's me personally. That's my take on how I think energy works, right? And sometimes I think that some of the, like even that empathy video that I put up in the group, it talks about like I've talked about holding space for others, find me the person that doesn't have damage. Find me the person that's fully healed. I mean, like, not to get religious on you guys, but even Jesus Christ had his issues in his existence, and he was the Messiah, right? But he had to go through pain and suffering and things that he did for sort of, and this is like more religious, and I don't want to overstep because I'm not a religious person, but when I look at the energy of sort of that as a story, or that person and what they did, what they represent, even they went through a severe amount of pain to sort of save others. Was he healing those others that he was saving? Yeah. Was he acquiring pain? Was he being beat upon and not believed and nailed to a friggin' cross? Yeah. So I just think that sometimes we need to think it through from our own perspective. Discernment is very key, and I suggest and highly advise you use it with anybody that you watch, including myself, because I'm not, I can only speak from my experience and what I feel intuitively. That doesn't necessarily mean that my intuition is any more accurate or right than your guys's. So keep that in mind. The idea here is just to open you guys up to that discernment, to your own intuition, and to the fun that you can have with playing with it. Google some shit and go like, is that right? All right. So anyways, that was long-winded, but thanks for those questions. That was kind of cool. I like that. That was fun. Those were some really great questions. So thank you for asking those. It also helps me to share a little bit about who I am and what I believe, so that if you guys feel like you're in line with that, then stick around. And if you're not, that's okay too, right? You can have other answers and other ways of belief. There's a lot of us here with a lot of different experiences and a lot of different ways that we can do this. So we need to be open to all of that, right? If we had more of that openness, we'd have a much more peaceful world, I believe. Okay. You did buy his book, Karen. It's a kind of cool setup, and I love how he does all the numbers. But then I kind of was like looking at it, I was like, oh, Jesus, anything could be like an angel message. Anytime I look at the clock, I can't be running back and forth to his book every other minute, right? So I'm just kind of like, oh, 222, I'll take it, hey! Like, swish, swish, bish. Like, it's, my angel's saying hello, okay. I'm supported, I'm not alone, great. All right, so, Kat Metzenberger says, I had a professor tell us you always have your crap detector on. You need it on Google a lot. You do. You do. All right. Julia Marie Bastian. Sorry, guys, my eyes. I'm just sort of waking up. I don't get ringing, but I get like intense, quick pressure, like boom, boom. Then my head feels staticky, which is weird. Julia, I'm going to say this. This is my, and this is not a read for you, okay? But I'm just going to say this to you. I know it might feel weird, but that might be a way that you process information. Try and, this is just sort of my opinion, okay? But what I think is like, bring in our girls' grace and ease as those energies. Find some grace and ease with that boom, boom, pressure, staticky. It's trying to tell you something, or it's something that maybe is a way that you process information. I would stop calling it weird and start to embrace it, right? I get ringing in my ears. Okay, do I need to like struggle to figure out what it means? And no, I don't. I need to just know that, okay, it's spirit reaching out to me. And I need to trust that my spirit is also at work with them. And that information will come clear to me when it's time, right? And I don't I try to get less out of, bring myself out of that resistance. You may not have resistance around it. Your weird makes me think that if there is any resistance, shift that a little bit and see what happens with that pressury, staticky situation. That might be exactly how they're reaching out to you, or you might be sensing something. There might be some really good information in there for you. Okay, that's just an idea or a thought. That's not a read. Okay, so I don't want you to think like I'm giving you something that you need to go searching for. But it's just sometimes we need to shift our perceptions of ourselves, our relationships to ourselves, and that's what we're going to do right now with the 3 breaths. Let's get into the 3 breaths. This has been a little long-winded, sorry guys. So what we do around here is we take 3 breaths to help us connect to our body, our mind, and our spirit, the 3 components of ourselves that we've created or co-created alongside one another through this experience called life. And it is the vehicles with which we travel through life, right? So we want to open the conversation this morning through these 3 breaths. We're going to inhale deeply in through the nose, down into the belly. We're going to hold that breath, and we're going to start to expand a light from our heart chakra out into our body. I want you guys to look at this light as it permeates like bone, tissue, organs, cells, just healing everything, bringing like ease, grace, a naturalness back to us, right? Honor. Think of the energies of honor, joy, vitality. Bring those things with that light. Know that this light is sort of life-giving. It is the light that is within us, and it's always accessible to us, from us, right? As we exhale, we want to let go of anything that no longer serves us. Release it down your grounding cord or out with the out-breath, okay? And you'll just follow along with me. If you can't see everything that I'm talking about, if you're new, don't worry. Just kind of listen to my voice and just do whatever works for you. Use your discernment during this exercise. If you see things differently, or if things show up for you differently, go for it. Like, look at it, ask it, talk to it, say, oh, hi. Oh, hi! Because this could very well be your spirit trying to communicate back to you, or your emotions, or your body, or whatever, as we do this exercise. All right, so let's close our eyes. Kind of get comfortable wherever we are, bringing ourselves into the present moment. I like to try and bring my attention right here to behind my eyes, into the center of my head, right? This is where the 6th chakra is, the 3rd eye. So I like to try and set my intention into there before getting ready to do this forecast. And as I do that, I take a couple breaths, and I sort of become conscious of where my body is. My body's sitting in this chair right with you guys here on January 22nd, 2020. Again, double 2s, there's 2-2, 2020. Numerologically, it's 2222. So let's just bring in that energy of being here in this present moment. And let's take in that first breath. I like to touch my heart chakra just to kind of remind myself that my body is here, and sort of like give it a little like warm nudge just to kind of activate it. Let it know it's safe. So let's pull in that first breath through the nose into the belly. Inhale with me. Hold that breath and begin to shine that light. Adjust your chakras. Allow your spirit to adjust your chakras. Allow them to find grace and ease and harmony with one another. Release that breath, allowing anything to go down your grounding cord that you no longer need, or being released with that breath. Finding yourself slipping into more grace and ease, right? Letting go of things that are from last week, worries about the future. We're here in the present moment. We are okay, right here, right now. Giving thanks to the body, acknowledging our body for the beautiful vehicle that it is, for the creation that we have made, whether we've judged it in the past or we've had issue within the past, setting all of that aside and giving light, love and light to our body. Allowing that light from the heart chakra to sort of heal that body and validate it in the exact place that it is in this moment. Now, for some of you, this might feel emotional. Sometimes for me it does, and that's totally acceptable. Sometimes opening up this communication can be new to us, and we sort of realize that maybe we've sort of not communicated with our body in a really long time, or we've disavowed it. I certainly had that experience, and it was painful to work through. I still work through it, right? And as we do that, and we give that love and that gratitude to our body, we see this sort of light on this. We have a pyramid in front of us, right? A three-sided pyramid. See one of those sides light up, whichever side feels most comfortable for you. This is the light of the body. This is the vibrational light of the body. Allow that side of the pyramid or the triangle to light up. Let's take in our second breath. Hold. Allow the chakras to adjust. Take that light from the heart chakra out to the outer edges of your body, all the way around, to the tips of your fingers, the tips of your toes, the top of your head. Fill your body with light. Feel how that feels. Release the breath, letting go of anything that is any sort of discomfort, dis-ease, things that, we don't need right now. We can always pick it back up later. Giving thanks to the mind, and as we give thanks to the mind, seeing another side of that pyramid light up in connection to the body and in support of the body. Right? Bringing these two components together as a whole in support and in love and in gratitude of one another. Giving thanks to the mind for all of the work that it does for us, the tireless thoughts, dreams, processing that it does, right? Both good and bad. Saying thank you. Saying thank you to the ego that's housed in the mind, right? Sometimes the ego can be a little bit dodgy and tricky for us, but being grateful for that aspect of our mind too, right? The ego's really, although it's sometimes fear-based, it really operates from a place of trying to keep us safe most of the time. But we have our discernment, right? That's contained also within our mind too, where we can, discernment I believe is in all three components of ourselves, but discernment through the mind can also tell us when our egos may be overstepping and we're in too much fear. So being in gratitude to all of that, just saying hello to that, allowing that to be today, acknowledging it and being in gratitude for it. Let's take in the third breath. Hold. Allow any last minute adjustments to happen to your chakras to set them in grace and ease for the day. Allow that light to spread out past the body 360 degrees around you, into your auric field, healing your energetic field above and below your body and all the way around you. Allow that light to shine as bright as you possibly can. Release the breath. Giving thanks to the Spirit. Now this is the part that's sort of the unknown, right? But as we connect to this and we give this thanks, we sort of open this door and we invite it in, similar to how I was talking about inviting in the angels. We need to remind and acknowledge our spirit and allow it in, allow it a space in our world, a turn towards it, giving gratitude and thanks for all that it does, both seen and unseen. Seeing the third side of this three-sided pyramid lighting up, or the third side of this triangle lighting up, right? And it is also in support of the mind and the body. All three are equally important. All three are in equal distance of one another. All three are sort of collectively make up this beautiful lit pyramid, right? This is our light. Within the center of that pyramid, let's see a fourth light sort of start to come forward. This is the light of the emotions, and I see this as if you're looking at your pyramid in 3 dimensions, the floor of your pyramid lights up. This is the triangle that is the base of the pyramid that the other 3 sides are built upon. This lights up. This is the sort of emotional body. This is what I believe how the mind, the spirit, and the body communicate not to one another and to us in our day-to-day life through our emotions. Our emotions can have effects on us mentally, physically, and spiritually. Acknowledging that and giving gratitude for that, not being in fear of our emotional selves, but really being in gratitude of them, for the barometer, for the communication that they give, for the check-ins that they can give us, although sometimes maybe uncomfortable, maybe even sometimes painful, they really are a gift. And when we hold them as a gift, they change. Our relationship to them changes. And this is about, when we build this light in this pyramid, this is about building our relationship within and to ourselves. Hold that as your intention today. I like to take this lit pyramid now and I bring it into all of my chakras. And I sort of allow that to sit in my chakras and sort of allow that light to emanate from all of my different energy centers of the body. This is your light. Remember that this light is always available to you. This light is strong, stronger than you even know or realize. It's beautiful. It's what makes you you. It's the light of your spirit. It's the light of your mind. It's the light of your body. I don't believe in the energy of perfection, but I would say that this light could be the closest thing to perfection that we might ever experience. So getting into gratitude with that and honoring that and validating that really is, how do I want to say, like key with this exercise? Because I think a lot of us go through the world looking for that validation from outside sources when it's actually really internally within us. So we have to open the door this morning, right, by turning on these lights and placing them in our energy centers, owning them, validating them, being in gratitude for them, and wanting to be connected to them. Set this as your intention for the day, seeing them in balance and harmony with each other, in support of one another. If one light or one side of your pyramid is drawing your attention and needs a little extra attention today, allow for that. Talk to that side of the pyramid. Ask that light, what's going on? Is it your mental light? Is it your emotional light? Is it your spiritual light? What's needing your attention? And allow those other lights to sort of support it and give love and support. And as you gather that information, does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. What was I going to say? So set this as your intention for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year, even for the rest of your life. This is a relationship, and this is a light that we can continue to grow and build for our entire lifetime and for many lifetimes to come. And if we build on this relationship and we sort of foster, nurture, love, and open these doors daily throughout the day to our own light, it's easier for us to access it. It's easier for us to bring it in and live from it and to sort of shine it out into the world. And when we do that, we change our world, we change our environment, we change our relationship to our environment. Nothing can harm this light. Remember that. Take a few more breaths here if you feel the need to. I'm going to myself. Kind of revisit, right now I'm revisiting my grounding cord and regrounding, because that's also grounding this light into my chakras. Beautiful. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Hi, Brittany Panton, how are you? She says, I needed this. We all need it, honey. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thank you. Hi, FindAway88. Oh my God, I have a Twitch watcher. How are you? I love it when Twitch tunes in. I've got so few viewers over there. And the funny thing is that I can't find my videos on Twitch. I don't know if they're actually being saved. It's really weird. But hi, FindAway88. Good morning. I broadcast to Twitch and it's like a desert over there. I have like 4 viewers. I was actually thinking about taking it down off of Twitch. Hey, Jen Nichols, good morning. How are you? All right, so, hey, Judy Graff, how are you? You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. You did all the work, Judy. You guys do all the work. So, you can thank me all you want, but you guys are the ones doing the work by just joining me and following along. It's all you and your spirit bringing that light about. So, let me see. What do we need to know today for the 22nd of January 2020? For those of us that are watching both now live and those that will watch at any point in time in the future, please make this a timeless reading. There be benefit for all, for their highest good. What we need to focus on is our collective fruit of souls. Where is our energy best focused today? So I'm gonna flip the cameras, guys, so you guys can see the card. She's a regular around here. We see her quite a bit. She's not. At least it's not the Page of Pentacles. Not that I'm hating on the Page of Pentacles, but I do feel like we need. We are getting a shift of energy going on now. This is the Queen of Swords, and what I think is where this is taking me right now. I've interpreted this card. I want to say like maybe twice this month she's shown up, or she's shown up in other people's readings, but she shows up quite a bit. The Queen of Swords always deals with the element of air or the intellect. Some of you could be dealing with an air sign female that's very empowered today, that's outside of you, right? This could be a boss, a mother that's a Libra, Aquarius, or a, what's the first air sign? Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. Oh my god, I'm totally drawing a blank. What is the first? Gemini. Thank you, Gemini. Okay, so this could represent as an outside Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. I don't necessarily always do that. I try and keep the focus on us as a whole. But what I do want to say is if this card represents as us, this is about us being watchful and mindful. This is definitely like a card of discernment, right? I feel like this Puma, she's being very discerning. I feel like she's giving us a little bit of a sort of quiet side eye or a little bit of judgment, right? But what it is she's sort of discerning, like, is this a situation I want to get involved in? Is this something that I really want to give my attention to? Is this something that's going to drain me, or is this something that's going to, help me in my pursuits of whatever it is my goals are today? When I look at this card, I love that she sort of is empowered, and she has this sword here, which says to me, the Queen of Swords always is like this kind of clear thinking intellect, this ability to cut through the bullshit if she chooses to. She's benevolent, but she does have this ability to sort of cut to the quick. That's the sword's energy of this, right? She has ability to sort of discern and get to the answer quickly. I feel like we might want to take the action or the energy of this sort of kind of silent observer today and use our intelligence, our mental acuity to sort of make decisions or discern whether or not situations deserve our attention today. We may not necessarily voice our opinions. I kind of get a feeling that there might be some situations that might be a little bit annoying to some of us that we may be looking at when I look at this Queen of Swords today. We might be a little bit in our mind going like, why do I have to deal with this? Or, do I really want to get involved? But I don't feel like this is the day to necessarily be verbally demonstrative about our feelings about it. I feel like she is holding her sword back, waiting and sort of seeing final outcomes, seeing sort of what next moves for others around us are going to take place before actually putting forth whatever she might be thinking or discerning, right? So there's a wisdom to this card. There's a sort of I don't want to say reluctance, that's not the right word. It's more like she's like holding back, but by choice, right? There's a power here with her where she sort of holds back and keeps her mind or her thoughts to herself as she assesses the situation. But we certainly have the skill set and the awareness and the intelligence to assess the situation correctly, is what I feel like from this card. It may not be a situation we like so much, right? Or it might be a situation where it feels a little bit out of our control, a little bit not really what we want to deal with, but we're sort of not, before getting too worked up emotionally, we're using our sort of mental prowess to kind of balance it all out mentally in our thoughts and in our mind, and we're staying in control. That's the queen aspect of this card. She's definitely about being royalty and staying in authority to our mind. Now, today is Wednesday, and we remember in Sunday's forecast we had that Three of Cups, which I said that there might be some emotions going on during the midweek, or emotional situations that could cause overspill or that sort of a thing. I kind of feel like that's why this Queen of Swords is showing up today. For those of you that might run into those situations that cause you sort of a little bit of emotional volatility or feel a little bit overwhelming, that's okay. We can acknowledge those situations and we can look at them through the eyes of this Queen of Swords, realizing that we are strong and capable and that we can carry ourselves through this without necessarily having to get swept up or caught up in it. This, to me, this card feels kind of like almost the grounding or the balancing to that Three of Cups energy that I saw in the midweek on Sunday, right? So if we find ourselves in situations that might be a little bit emotional or do want to trigger our emotions, I feel like this card steps in today and says, Maybe not. Let me think about this for a minute. Let me step back for a minute and I'm going to watch how this plays out or what components are really at work here. There's a little bit more of a deeper, sort of controlled awareness that's happening within her that I like to see. She's empowered. We can take that position of empowerment today. We don't necessarily have to like lash out at anybody or force control or force change. We get to sort of watch and let it unfold in front of us and possess like a certain authority in our mindset that allows us to kind of have a grace with whatever might be going on around us. Where it's not, today is not the day to be a messy Bessie, right? She is not a messy Bessie. She is a cool, calm, collected Carol, okay? So keep that in mind today as you go throughout the day. For some of you that might be, if this is an outside energy of a strong air sign female, just be mindful because I feel like there is this little bit of a hunt happening with this Puma. So there might be somebody that's kind of watching you. I feel like this is specific for somebody that's going to watch this at some point in time. I don't know who it is. It may not be somebody that's here live with us right now, but if somebody's dealing with an issue with a real strong-willed air sign woman, just be mindful. She's kind of watching you. This could be like a mother or a boss is what I'm saying. But if you're struggling with her and she's, got her opinions and you can almost feel them, right? She may not be voicing them, but you can feel them on your back. Be aware that she's around you today, or her thoughts are around you, her perceptions of you are around you. I don't know if they're accurate. This is specific to somebody. I don't know why, but it's coming in and it's totally, it may only be for one person or maybe a few people that watch this video. Who knows? It could be for somebody way down the line that watches this video. But be mindful of her today. She's there. I don't know that she'll act out, but she's watching you. Okay, that's what this feeling that I get from this card. But for those of you that want to adopt this Queen of Swords energy, I think she's a very balanced and not withdrawn, but pulled back energy that empowers her to see everything for what it is and then mentally find the clarity to kind of make her move next. Okay, so that's for the majority of you. Now, what do we got here? Okay, so this was the theme of the week, guys. So this is bringing us back to this place of reminding us. This is it was Sunday's card, right, for the Sunday reading, which was the underpinning energy of the week. This is I am receptive. I am open to new ideas. I am willing to try different methods, and I consider alternate viewpoints. Okay, this is that discernment that I see in the Queen of Swords. She's taking it all in. We don't necessarily have to make a decision today, but we can take things under advisement and then sort of let them mull about in our mental space and make a clear decision at some point, either later today or maybe later in this week. But right now, she's sort of taking it all in, not necessarily being, what's the word? Sometimes people's thoughts or ideas can overwhelm us, or we can become, I don't want to say victim to them, but we can become sort of self-doubtful or whatever to them because we take their information in over our own. With this Queen of Swords, we're not going to do that. We're maybe going to take it under advisement and then make our decisions from a place of clarity and empowerment today. So this says, I'm sorry, I'll get back to this. I am willing to try different methods and I consider alternate viewpoints. I welcome intellectual stimulation. I am receptive. Again, intellectual stimulation would definitely be a swords card, right? And she's the Queen of Swords, meaning she can play in that intellectual stimulation. She can discern things. I'm going to say this too. This is a great day to solve problems, I think, for some of us mentally with this Queen of Swords energy and this I am receptive. This is about being open to new ideas or new ways of thought, new ways of sort of working through situations that maybe otherwise have plagued us. We might have to be a little bit on the quiet side and sort of take it all in and then make our move later, but be receptive to those ideas. Be receptive to those new ways of being. We have this moon here in front of the sun with the sort of the clouds, and sometimes I think I interpret these little designs too. To me, this is about trusting our intuition, trusting our mental sort of space, trusting our deeper thoughts and our discernment that are contained in here today. She's going to help lead us through today to a better understanding, a clearer sort of answer, whatever that may be or whatever we're seeking, okay? And so, here is your grounding stone. This is just something to ground in today. This would definitely help with, is it going to stand up? This would definitely help with this idea of this energy of I am receptive. The word is laugh today. There's been a lot of like, Sunday stone was strength, right? And there's been a lot of like, I feel like sort of positive stones this week in the sense that we had blessed and then we had sharing, which sort of feels like this opening up, right? And this enjoying, this being receptive, like Sunday's card said to us, it's being receptive to new ideas, intellectual stimulation, being just open and trusting ourselves that whatever we're open to, we can, work our way through it. This laugh stone to me feels like laughter and humor, the opportunity to be at ease in that way really is aids us in being receptive and being open and feeling at ease, right? So finding things that we can laugh at, finding things that are positive, this again that ties into looking at for the blessings, and also that energy of yesterday's grounding stone, which was that sharing. It sort of it continues to ask us again, stay open, stay positive, focus on what's working, and allow yourself to operate from that place. And I think that as you do that, that also helps to keep the strength that I see in this Queen of Swords, the decisiveness that I see in the Queen of Swords, the empowerment that I see here, right? People can't necessarily take this away from us if we're sort of in a state of joy, right? Like, how do I want to say this? Humor or laughter, the energy of sort of like humor is like psychic grease to me. People, when they're like vibrating at a lower vibration or they're negative or they want to bring you down, you know what I mean, to their level where they want to like make you miserable by running their drama through you or whatever, they can't really do that when we're in this state of sort of joy or humor. It just doesn't stick. It doesn't land. Have you ever noticed that? Or like people get really pissed off at you when you're in a really good mood, even though they're miserable, because they know that they can't connect to you and plug in and run their energy through you, right? And so that's what this is to me today. It's like stay in laughter or stay in sort of this sense of humor, this sort of joy, this free feeling. Know that you're strong and capable mentally, and allow those two things to sort of keep you receptive to what's going on in the world. But just because you're receptive doesn't mean that you have to get involved in other people's drama, right, or other people's stuff. That's the sort of discernment that I'm seeing here in this Queen of Swords today. It's like looking at a situation from the sidelines and keeping yourself sort of, I don't know if safe is the word I want to use, but I don't want anybody to think that there's bad things happening today. It's not about that. What I'm saying is being able to watch and discern from a situation from the sidelines, being receptive to it, but also keeping like a sort of high vibration while you're dealing with it will help you to sort of keep this receptivity without getting dragged down or losing the strength that I see that's in this Queen of Swords. Does that make sense, guys? I hope that makes sense for you. I hope that's something that you can focus on today and carry with you throughout the day. Again, remember, this is about strength, right? Sunday's stone was the strength stone, and there's a lot of strength within that Queen of Swords. So if some of you find yourself like dealing with emotional situations like I saw in that Three of Cups card from Sunday, don't be surprised. That's okay. Be receptive to it, but you don't have to let it override you. Find your sweet spot. Find that laughter, find that joy, find that humor. Even if, maybe the situation is emotional and maybe humor is, I don't know. Maybe humor wouldn't be your first place to go to, but I think it's better to go there than to get sucked into the emotional overwhelm that I kind of felt could have been present in that Three of Cups card for some of us. Does that make sense? So, you love my choice in grounding stones, Kelly? Awesome, thank you. Just came out of the bag. So, there you guys go. That is your forecast for the day. I hope that makes sense. I hope that you guys can utilize it in some way for your highest good and the highest good of others. Tonight will be the Wednesday Night Charming event. It'll start at 6 p.m. Central Time. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Charmings are $25. If you want to purchase one, you can use the Engelgeist link. I'll put it in here. You can send over payment for your charming and pre-book if you'd like. I love pre-bookings because it lets me build the list ahead of time. So if you want that or you're interested in that, if you don't know what a charming is, you can check out the videos on either my business page or on my YouTube. What else? There will be another charming on Friday night. I will be back tomorrow morning for the forecast, and I am going to do, hopefully, get at least one of the signs done for February's horoscopes today. Not one of the signs, but one of the elements. So 3 of the signs. So I'm going to kick off with air because we're in the month of February is the tail end of Aquarius. So I'm going to start with the air signs this time, and then go to water because February to March becomes Pisces. I'm going to try and do it that way since I'm doing them in groups of 3. So I'm going to try and get that up today, and I'll see you guys tonight for the charming. And you're welcome, Borasi. You're welcome. Hi, Deepika Deeps. I can't. I'm not pulling singular cards. You have to come um, for the How I Can Help You hour. I do that then. Okay. So, and I'm always available for private readings if you guys are interested in that. You can message me at the business page. Private readings are $50 for an hour. They're done over the phone or Facebook video. They can be very insightful and liberating. If you haven't had one, or if you feel like you need one, you can certainly message me and ask any questions. And you can follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist333. Any likes, shares, comments, subscribes are always greatly appreciated. Even just the little thumbs up, if you hit it on the video, or you go over to YouTube and hit it over there, it helps me and helps get the content out there. If you are subscribed on Facebook and would be so willing to go over, if you have a YouTube account, and subscribe at YouTube, I'd greatly appreciate it, and vice versa. Those of you watching on YouTube, go on over and like the business page on Facebook, cross-pollinate. All of it helps. I really appreciate all of it. You guys go out and have a great day. Good morning, Arjun Gowda. How are you? I'm good. I'm getting ready to sign off. Sorry you're coming in late, but good morning. So I'm going to sign off. I will see you guys later tonight. All right? Have a great day, and I will see you tonight. Arjun, I'm actually signing off. So there was a reading this morning. If you go back, once I close off the video, if you go back and watch the video, the reading is for everyone. So it is a collective reading. So the reading has happened, but if you go back and rewatch the video, you might be able to get something out of the reading. It may make sense for you. And if not, if you needed something more personalized, there's probably other readers out there that you can find at this time. Okay? So I will see you guys later. All right, have a good day. Bye.